And I can see people are still attending, and it's 10:00. I think we should just get going.
Yeah.
And start the webinar off. First of all, a short presentation. My name is Mehmet. I've been in iPaper in 4.5, 5 years now, working as a senior strategic account manager, working with big major retail chains in Europe, LATAM, and Middle East, helping them not just with the digital leaflet process, but generally the strategy, overall strategy about digital leaflet, how to use it tactically. And I will be attending in this webinar and share the insights with you from the real life experience, from the customer experience, customer dialogues that I have in my daily work. And I'm with
Rebecca. I'm a journalist here at iPaper. I've worked here for about 1.5 years. And I investigate and research all the emerging trends within the retail industry, as well as changes in shopper behavior. And then I contextualize that within our customers' challenges and pain points so we can better understand how we can help them and what the digital catalog can do for them.
Perfect. Just a short notice, we have a technical backup behind the camera that will guide us if anything goes wrong. So if I'm going to talk to someone behind the camera, that's our dear Mariana, who stays behind the cameras. Yeah, I think we can just start sharing the screen.
It's called Meeting Customer Expectations in 2024. Shopper Survey Insights on Digital Catalogs.
So this meeting, or this webinar, is actually about meeting customer expectations in 2024 using your digital catalogs. So just set the scene.
Yeah. We're going to be starting with the shopper expectations, and this is all based on our survey findings. We find, we hear a lot, retail is evolving faster than it's ever before, and that's in large part because of the ability to use technology to create solutions. And sometimes we see, though, retailers creating solutions that the shoppers don't really want, and they end up not using. So that's why we feel it's super important to keep our finger on the pulse and really understand our shoppers' expectations and behaviors so we can create solutions that match their needs.
Definitely. And on that side, beside the shopper expectations, we have to look into the retail challenges. When we say retail challenges, it's the same challenges actually in direct selling companies, for example. So it's a industry challenge, and there is 3 or 4 major factors in there. Retailers today are looking into the transition phase because, first of all, print, paper and distribution cost. Secondly, could be the European laws that is getting going in Europe, basically in France, for example. You have to use recycled paper to print your leaflets in general. So that's one of the major things that retailers and companies are looking into the transition phase. Thirdly, one of the major things that I'm pretty much talking with many of the customers every single day is their organizational structure. So in the retailer's organizational structure, there is a team creating the leaflet, the printed leaflet, the PDF itself, and there is different teams, marketing and e-commerce, etc. The organizational structure is based on there is marketing, e-commerce, different departments that works together in creation of this PDF or the printed strategy and so on. And sometimes who works in what department have an influence in the process of the creation of the digital catalog. And whenever we look into the conversations that we have with retailers, direct selling, one of the major challenges they also face is the data of the products they have. So whenever you don't have the right data in your current setup, it's really tough to look into a transition phase going from print to digital. But here we are, and we are actually looking into how we can bridge the gap between shopper expectations and retailer challenges. And the way we do it is a little bit different from other companies that are doing it in digital world. We are actually basing it on shopper surveys. We are basing it on data. And we will come back to this point in a moment.
Let's go through the agenda. There you go. So we'll start with our survey findings. We'll go into that obviously in a second, where we're really asked customers who tried to find out what is missing in their online shopping journey today. And what we found out was the way that you present your products can totally change that experience. And we define this as curation, which some of you may or may not know that term. We will define it later, don't worry. Then we'll go into the catalog experience and look at what's the printed experiences versus the digital, and what do we have to be aware about when it comes to the shopper's expectations.
And secondly, we will look into retail challenges in terms of adopting this digital catalog into their overall marketing strategy, which we at iPaper call the transition phase from print to digital.
And we also have a success framework called the store metaphor that helps us define the different phases that you need to think about when you're looking to improve and adopt the digital catalog.
And a store metaphor is a phrase that we use at iPaper for basically, going deeper into the customer journey within the digital catalog and explaining the different steps that we have detected in our dialogues with our clients. And last,
we'll go through some of our customer success cases, so you'll get a real sense of how, when you implement some of the strategies and tactics that we'll be talking about today, what are the data that we can see the results.
Let's get going.
Yes. So we've been talking about the survey, and we conducted the survey in collaboration with a research company called Opinion. Here in Denmark, for example, they're responsible for the exit polls for our local elections, and for us it was really important to have a strong partner who could help us create a survey that we knew we'd be able to find statistical significance in, and at the same time also get a sense of who our shoppers are and know that it's representative of the populations that they live in. Because we surveyed shoppers in 7 different countries: Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Netherlands, and Spain.
And the main reason for we are doing this shopper survey, it's actually 3rd year that we are doing it, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. The main reason for we are doing this shopper surveys is basically that before in time, when digitalizing the printed leaflet, it is up to the departments of the retailers, organizations that what to add into digital leaflet, which features should we add, etc. But looking into the data and what shoppers actually want, now we can guide our customers and you guys in terms of what is necessary to add and what is need from the shopper's perspective in their customer journey in the digital catalog. So one of the most major findings, I think we're going to start with that one in the next slide.
And that is that only 13% of shoppers that we asked do not feel overwhelmed shopping on the preferred channel, which basically means that generally people are pretty overwhelmed when they're shopping online.
So it's only 13% of the shoppers that actually says that they are satisfied with the current strategy, basically. And when we say shoppers feels overwhelmed, we mean both. The question was based on, you will see it in the next slide actually, but the question was based on also the experience in the social media, the experience in the e-commerce, the overall online shopping experience.
And that's because we can also see that shoppers are increasingly shopping on more channels. When we look at the older generation who maybe still are shopping on a lot of channels, we can see there's an increase from generation to generation on how many channels they're using throughout their shopping journey, which also gives us an idea of why they're feeling overwhelmed.
And looking into the generations, basically, you can see that baby boomers is in average using 9.7 channels in their shopping journey, while Gen Z is using 13.5. And that tells us a little bit about where we are going with the generations.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. It's something that's, I think, is a key factor in what we should think about going forward for the future and future generations of shoppers.
So we can actually conclude that in the future generations, there will be more channels in their shopping journey in terms of getting inspired, buying the products, and communicating with retailers, basically.
That's what I would imagine, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at today's current online shopping experience. So we are all in the social medias and different channels and getting exposed to those communication styles from retailers, direct selling companies, and other companies also. So we all experiencing the same things in our social media, and there's a reason for it. I think it's essential for us digital professionals that we should remember that we are all shoppers also. So whatever we are helping a client with promoting a product, or helping with a digital leaflet strategy, or helping with an omni-channel strategy, etc., we just have to remember that how would I get inspired from my how can you say, the shops, the retailers that I'm shopping in, because we are all shoppers. You are a shopper. You buy products in your daily life, right?
Yeah, and I think that's when we think about remembering that we're also shoppers, because I think we can get really focused on trying to optimize each individual channel, but then forget that that same person you're optimizing it for is also getting different information on different channels, and so just a lot of noise.
And that is basically why in the previous slide we showed you that different generations have different, so many channels they are active on in their online shopping journey. So that creates a lot of noise. That creates too much information overload in those channels. So customers doesn't get the necessary help to take the decision of which products to buy. And whenever they click on a campaign in the social media or the channels that they get exposed to those campaigns, is basically they are going into the website, and you can see it on the beautiful GIF we have on the screen here, that you will probably go into a grid of products that you have to scroll down and look into the products, and maybe there is a filter in the left side that you have to select whatever you want to buy. So we are leaving actually the shoppers alone when they are in the e-commerce journey. And that is basically why we think that shoppers feel overwhelmed, that only 13% is actually satisfied with the current strategy. So we need to do something else. And that is the goal of this survey, to find out what is the next thing.
And so what we did is we actually asked shoppers what they feel is missing, what they think is missing from the online shopping journey, and we actually asked them to rank several features so we could understand what is it that they say would improve. And surprisingly, to me at least, it wasn't that it was they want something to be easily accessible on their phone, but in fact it was something that's simple to use, gives you a good product overview, and something that's quick to use. So it's not so much really features like specifically shopping in being able to shop directly or click and collect or these things. It's really the feeling of being able to sort through all these overwhelming channels and pushes and notifications and everything, just being able to make that product discovery easier.
Those three elements that Rebecca is mentioning is gonna make the online experience less complex for the shoppers. That is actually what they are telling us. And let's take the time a little bit back and look into the traditional marketing. And what was working there was the simplicity of the communication. Because if we just go a decade back, 20 years back, 30 years back, we all know the format of the PDF leaflet. We have all gathered those, in our households. The companies are sending those every single week, every single month, to make us noticeable about their promotions. So back in time, organizations basically go in and printed X amount of leaflet and distribute it to the households in that local area of their shops. So the marketing was much more local, so you could actually reach out to your customers with the printed materials. But with the time being, the printed materials, the print and distribution costs, etc., it is evolving to a limit where retailers have to think about this transition phase. But the major factor in the traditional marketing is basically it is working, and it still works. And let's take a look at why does it work.
It was also a time where there was far fewer channels, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting to sort of think about in the context of overwhelming shoppers back then, having fewer channels and why.
If we take a closer look at the printed leaflet, I think you have some data from our last survey on this.
I think that's what we're building on with this survey. We knew from last survey that shoppers have an emotional attachment to the printed leaflet. And this we know because they said that when we asked about what would you do if the printed version was no longer there, they said they would miss it if it was gone, but at the same time they knew that they could actually find the same information online. So this indicated to us that there's something about that printed format that they really like.
I think it's also about habits.
Yeah.
When you have been getting the same format over and over in the traditional marketing, and retailers has been using the same format for you to notice their promotions, you get some kind of attachment to that format because you know the customer journey in there. There is a start, there is an ending, there is a limited amount of pages, there is some kind of customer journey there, and you know that specific company, retailer, have chosen those products for you to see in that time period that the leaflet is actually, active. So the format is seamless. The format is it does have some kind of emotional attachment to the clients, to the shoppers, to us. It is very, very, very simple to browse. Basically, just switch the pages and you see the next promotions, and it's category based basically. And one of the major things in the printed leaflet that works and that is essential in the customer journey is you don't get disturbed.
And that's something actually we see the shoppers in general, that people are retreating more into trying to find places where there's not digital noise. And that's something that they could find with the printed leaflet.
It's just the key informations about those products or those
Yeah.
promotions that you find on the pages.
Yeah.
So looking into why does the printed leaflet work, I think we have some data on in the next slide.
This is what's really interesting, is that when we asked shoppers about what they liked about the printed leaflet, it was the same exact things that was ranked for what shoppers think is missing from the online shopping experience. So shoppers who use printed leaflets said that 75% said it's simple to use, 58% said it's quick to use, and 46% said that it could give them a good overview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing
have
to add
anything?
on this one because it makes sense. It's the same things that they like in the printed leaflet that they are missing in their online experience.
Yeah.
And that's the point here basically.
Yeah.
So looking into why they like it is in the next slide.
Yes.
And it's about the format, it's about how you promote your products, in what how can you say, in what category do you put your promotions in that certain format.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I think that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to sort of understand the shopper better, right? And if we want to think about maybe that we can see now that how you present your products is what can improve the shopping experience. And when we think about something that's simple to use, quick to use, gives you a good product overview, we can actually define this by curation. And this is now where we're coming to the definition of curation. Curation in retail, at least, refers to the process of thoughtfully selecting and presenting products to customers.
And that sounds complicated, right? That sounds a little bit complicated. Let me phrase it in that way. Curation means basically there is a limited product promotions in a given limited time where there is an beginning and ending. That's basically what curation is. We're not talking about the format. It can be any format that you wish for, but curation in the essence of it, it means it's a closed environment where customers can go in and explore the promotions, where they know that this is the limited limited amount of products in a limited given time period. So in a supermarket, for example, that means that week's offer, which means the leaflet, because it's not a secret that a printed leaflet or catalog, depending on which company you are, you can call it both of them. It is a curated format that works, and we just noticed from this latest survey from the last year, basically, that they have an emotional attachment to it, and we just talked about why it is working. Why does it work for the customer side?
But we also asked the shoppers in the survey to compare.
You can just go ahead. I will just.
We asked them to compare. Okay, what do you think a curated selection can offer versus the grid view with a wide selection, where you have to filter and you have all the options there in front of you. And what was interesting is that 62% of shoppers from this survey agreed that using a more curated selection is going to make the shopping more simple. 65% said that it's going to give them a good product overview, and 60% said that it's going to help them save time. So yeah, going back to curation can be anything. You can curate anything. It doesn't just have to be a catalog, but a catalog, a leaflet, if it's printed or digital, inherently in and of itself, that format is a curated format.
And why do we say meet the shopper expectations using digital catalogs is based on our dialogues with retailers and direct selling companies? Because in fact, we know the processes in the retail industry, in the organizations. When you have a traditional marketing strategy that has been working in decades. That means you have certain themes, you have certain process, the print process. There is some teams selecting the products, there is some teams designing the PDF, there is some teams just focusing on distribution part of the PDF, etc. So you already have a process behind the scenes when you're creating the PDF version, right? And that's why we say you have to transition that into a digital version, because the format is working from the customer side, and it is fitting perfectly in the curated format when we say in overall in a bucket basically. So looking into the just go a slide back, looking into the transition phase from print to digital, we have to look into what has been working in the printed leaflet to look into how can we improve the digital leaflet. So what can we add into the digital world? And of course, a lot of KPIs, a lot of marketing terms, e-commerce terms will be a part of the conversation here. We cannot stop it when it's the digital world. Of course, we're going to use that in a moment. But let's take a look into what is the learnings from the print leaflet in general.
When you go from a print format to a digital one, even though we know that the curate is what they like, when it's presented in the digital world, it's going to be viewed through a different context. And that's when we can take some learnings from what we know works in the printed and apply it to the digital. And that is, for example, placing the product strategically, reducing the number of visible products. And again, this one's key in terms of not creating an overwhelming experience, because then there's less to focus on. And we want to keep the browsing simple and focus on the key information.
The first and second part is basically fitting perfectly into the curated selection, right? It's a curated format.
Yeah.
So place the product strategically, show the products that you want to sell to your customers, but also reduce the visible products. Make the shopping journey more simple for your customers. So looking into what the learnings are from the printed leaflet, and looking into that, they already, like retailers and direct selling companies, they already have a printed process, and transitioning into the digital leaflet. It sounds very good, and you can add a lot of things in the digital leaflet and digital catalogs, etc., in terms of features, buying options, etc. But what if the customer doesn't use the digital catalog? And that's the crucial question that comes from the retailers to us when we have a meeting with them, right?
Yeah, and I think we mentioned earlier today that a lot of time retailers spend time advancing the digital technology and solutions, and then customers don't use it. But actually, we know that from the survey, when we asked them who was using digital catalogs, and actually 55% of those we surveyed say that they use digital catalogs for inspiration, and 64% of shoppers said that they use them for searching for deals and promotions. So we do know that it's being used.
It was not well known before. The digital catalog term is actually was seen in terms of, okay, we have a PDF, let's just make it digital and put it on our website and e-commerce and just wait. But the today's technologies gives us other opportunities. And now where we know that what have been working in the digital leaflet, and we know the fact that customers are using the digital catalog, it is very important to see how should we digitalize it then? What's the next step for our shoppers, for our customer journey? And at iPaper, we help so many customers with digitalization of the printed leaflet. Actually, we have over 1,200 customers at the moment using the timeline that you see on your screen. This timeline is used by major clients, major retailers, and you will see that in the success case and what the results are in a moment. But just to give you a short explanation of the timeline, in the left side you see that the past is based on the print and distribution, and in the right side you see the future. We know the fact that retailers, direct selling companies, and companies overall, they are in need of a multi-channel, a tool to have a multi-channel impact. But we also know, as mentioned, that there is a certain processes in the organizations they have to have in mind when doing this transition phase. So In today's world, a lot of retailers are stuck at the level of putting the PDF into the online world. And it's not because they don't want to improve it, they just don't know what to improve in the digital catalog when they put the PDF into the online world. At iPaper, what we do is helping the clients to get to the next step. And for us, the next step is a phrasing that we say digital adoption, which actually means you have to add and integrate the digital catalog into your customer journey, whether it is driving traffic to your stores or e-commerce support or e-commerce sales, because all the possibilities are there. So we are in need of guiding our customers towards the digital adoption, whether it is e-commerce, app, physical stores, it doesn't matter. The shopping journey, when you know the shopping journey, then you can start adapting those features into your digital catalogs. And at iPaper, as mentioned in the agenda, we use a phrasing called store metaphor to guide our customers towards this digital adoption. What we mean by store metaphor is basically a physical store. If you have a physical store in a given area, you need to get your customers into the store to sell the products. So you create some kind of promotion and maybe word of mouth that goes around in the town, and you get the customer in your shop. Whenever they're in the shop, they will go around the shelves, and we all do that in our shopping journeys. They will go around the shelves, pick the products, or get inspired by a deal sign or a inspirational corner that you have created for your promotions, etc., and select the products they want to buy. And that's the intention phase of selecting the products that you want to buy. You have an intention to buy that product, so you get the product, you put that in your basket, and the conversion in the physical store, it's so easy because there's only one exit, and that's through the cashier, right? Whenever you're in a supermarket, you go through the shelves, you pick the products, and there is one exit, and that's through the cashier. And that's what makes the shopping journey so simple. And the same adaptation of this shopping journey, we are using that in a digital catalog. In a digital catalog, you have to think about how do you get your customers into the digital catalog when you know this is a format that they are craving. This is a format that it can give them a less complex shopping experience. So it's important to get them into your digital catalogs in terms of traffic, whether it is websites, social media, marketing campaigns, etc. When you have them in your digital catalog, you have to go and inspire them, and we will in a moment give you more details about how you can inspire them. When you have inspired them and created that certain intention of your goal of the digital catalog, then you can start off the conversion phase. But let's get going with the strategy and talk about attraction, because we have some data from the shoppers that says quite interesting things.
I would be very excited if I was a retailer right now to know this data. That actually we know a lot of them are using it, but when we ask shoppers why don't you use a digital catalog, 49% said, well, they don't get exposed to them. 34% said that they're hard to find online. So right now we already have, to me, it seems like an easy win to get more shoppers by making sure that they cross the digital catalog.
It's actually very interesting because retailers and direct selling companies today have a format that is craving, like shoppers are craving that format. They like the format, they like the created format, and you already have a process in your organizations to create it seamless. That it is not used in the marketing communications, that shoppers don't get exposed to them. It's 49% of the shoppers that says that, right?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So an approach from our side is basically that you have to use your digital catalogs to attract that traffic. In terms of social media, for example, put your digital catalog so customers can see that it is a digital catalog. In terms of newsletter, put it in a news mail to your customers. So use the digital catalog as a attraction tool to create traffic to your digital catalog and the website afterwards, because you can actually get the customer from digital catalog into your website afterwards, right? And these are the channels that we can recommend, basically, in terms of creating traffic. So present or embed your catalog in front of page of your website. It can be the front page, it can be a pop-up that you have. Just make sure that your website visitors is well known about your digital catalog. Add it into your campaigns in social media, add it into your newsletter campaigns that you create in mails. If you have a store, create some kind of synergy between, store visitors and digital catalogs. How can your store visitors really see the digital catalog, get exposed to them? And the reason for that we are mentioning those tactics, there is only one reason, and that is traffic to digital catalog. And in the digital world, we say the success metrics of this driving traffic is number of sessions. Let's go to the next stage. And the next stage is, are you with me?
Yep, I am,
yeah,
but
perfect.
I gotta get it going. All right.
The next stage is the inspiration stage.
Yes.
So let's say, assuming that you have created the relevant traffic into your digital catalogs and the customers are actually in your digital catalogs right now. What should they do?
So before we go into that, I want to emphasize how this format is super inspiring for product discovery as well. We know that 73% of shoppers are using digital catalogs to get inspired in this format.
Yep.
And it's such a great format for that because, as opposed to in other formats, here you're seeing the selection. You're seeing, and oftentimes the retailer is giving more context, so putting, like, if it's fashion, a whole outfit featured, or a room, or if it's grocery food, a grocery, it's maybe what meal you can make that night. So it's just, it's super opportunity for inspiration. And when we ask shoppers, though, what is more specifically they would want to be inspired by, they want to be able to read more about the product. They want to be able to see the variants of products that are available, see additional images of products, be able to search in the catalog. I think everything is just helping them with their product discovery in one spot where they can go to through all the key information.
So they are actually asking about digitalizing the leaflet, right?
Yeah, this is the digital things they want.
And when you look at these informations that customers are asking about and dragging parallel to what was working in the printed leaflet, it's actually key informations. So being able to know the more about the products, more about the variants, more about different type of images. Of course, it's depending on what type of products you have. You don't need to see different images of a milk.
No.
Right? But you might need to see different images of a shoe,
yeah,
or a jewelry,
or
depending
you might
on what you are.
want to see the nutritional value of.
Yeah, you talked about it a lot, right?
Really, any grocery retailers out there, I would love to be able to view nutritional value information in your digital catalog, because whatever we can provide the shopper with so that they get that same in-store feeling, so they can get that same knowledge about the products, we can actually provide that to them in a digital catalog in a not overwhelming way, with these key information, with the way we strategically approach it and digitalize it. I mean, it's super, you can do it without overwhelming people.
So looking into the digital catalog and how we can inspire them, let's just show them what they can add into their digital catalogs. At least this is how we are guiding iPaper customers to add. So whenever we talking about digital leaflets and digital catalogs, the data is crucial. If you have the right data about your products, about the variants, about different type of images that your product has, you don't have to limit your promotions into the image on that printed leaflet on the PDF, because there is a lot of features, including in iPaper platform. There's a lot of features that you can adapt to that view, so your customers get the key informations as they do in your basically product page. Whenever you are in the product page, you show all the details about your products. You can also do that in digital catalog in a much more innovative way. Being available for the customers to see the variants of the product. It's also something that you can add into your digital catalog for inspiration. Making your digital catalog searchable, so people can just go in there and type a product name in the search option and then get the pages about that specific category. When we say digitalize a printed leaflet, that means also, I actually saw some other participants here, they are really good at it. We also have some customers who's attending to the webinar. But adding images and animated GIFs and videos to make it more alive. As mentioned, the shoppers need the curated format, which is a closed environment filled with inspirational, inspirational, how can you say, things within the digital catalog. And that means videos, GIFs, animated icons, and just create the inspiration for the customer in a digital catalog with the digital tools, with the availability of digital tools to make them see the next page. Because the success metrics in this phase here is the time spent, is the pages seen, is the content clicked. Whenever we are talking in digital world in terms of conversion rate optimization or bounce rate optimization, etc., it's the same things. The purpose of inspiring your customers is increasing the time spent. And whenever you add those assets into your digital catalogs, which is the format that customers crave, then you will see an increase in your time spent and pages seen. And we all know when you increase the time spent, there is a higher chance for them to buy a product from your company, of course.
Yep.
Next phase is the intention phase.
Yeah.
And we have some data again.
We have some more data, and I think when we're talking about this phase to the intention phase, this is when we're also really want to think about, okay, is our catalog mostly for a marketing purpose? Is it for an e-commerce purpose? Is it for a combination omni-channel? And so we're talking about the intention, the strategy behind your digital catalog, but we're also talking about intention, creating that intention, capturing that intention from your shoppers.
Yeah, within the shopping journey,
within
in
the
catalog,
shopping,
right?
in the catalog, right? And these are the things that you're going to be able to do in order to capture that attention. And that's helping them. Okay, once they've find the products that they like, they wanna figure out how they can get them in their possession. It's adding, and this is also what the shoppers say they want, so it aligns perfectly. Being able to find the nearest store, linking to products in an online store, making a wish list, printing it out, being able to go to the physical store, sharing that list over email or chat.
So overall, looking into this data, we can say, okay, they want to some kind of support their, store journey. They want the digital catalog to support their digital journey, online shopping experience journey, and they also want the digital catalog to support their social communication with their network.
Yeah.
Right. This is the intention that customer wants in there. And of course, if you are a retailer, a supermarket, or if you have physical stores, basically, finding the nearest store can be the connection between the digital world and the physical world, basically. You can also combine it and say, okay, let's go in and create some intention called, click and collect. But that's also a part of the conversion that we will show you. But let's just show you a short example of how can you actually create a digital intention in your digital catalogs. First of all, making your products available to add to basket, whether it's adding directly to the basket in your web shop or shopping list function in your e-commerce from the digital catalog, or whether it is a digital catalog that has its own basket within the catalog itself. Connecting a locator into your digital catalog to find the nearest store could be a great option for your customers to find the nearest stores. Adding call to actions to important conversion points, for example, if you have an app or a loyalty program, or it can also be newsletter sign up form that you want to add into your digital catalog to create that certain intention. And that's the point where Rebecca's argument comes into the play, because depending on if you have marketing KPIs or if you have e-commerce KPIs, what's the overall intention of the digital catalog, then it makes sense to add and switch between different options that you see on your screen here. But one thing is for sure, the moment that we see the highest value of digital catalog is whenever marketing and e-commerce teams, they work together to improve the journey and set the KPIs for the digital catalog itself.
Yeah, and just to stay on that for 1 second, because we know this is also the organizational challenges that when we have the catalog in one department, when it's really can be used for both, we can have contradicting KPIs, and again, that's why it's really important to keep that in mind when you're setting the strategy for the catalog.
Definitely, because a marketing conversion is not like e-commerce conversion, right? E-commerce focuses on selling the products. I know that this is the end goal for the marketing conversion also, but we do know that elements, success metrics as actions clicked, shop buttons clicked, click-through rates, etc., is essential in the marketing campaigns, in the marketing communications. And that's why we say there must be some kind of collaboration between those two departments in terms of getting the right intention to implement into your digital catalogs, because you want to convert the customers in the end, no matter what.
Yeah. Speaking of converting. So this is how we're gonna, like we were just talking about, actually get the conversion. And the conversion, again, can be different things depending on what the strategy behind the catalog is. But when you ask shoppers what they want, they want it all. They want to be able to buy directly from the catalog. They want to be able to order products for in-store pickup, and they want to be able to check out over chat.
And this is basically what I just mentioned in the previous slide in terms of what kind of intention they want to create in the digital catalog. This is the conversion point. So they want to be able to go to the physical stores and buy the products physically.
Yeah.
By the digital catalog journey support, basically. And they also want to, buy the products directly from the digital catalog journey itself. And they also want to communicate the offerings, maybe the basket they have created or the shopping list they have created in the catalog with their social network. And this is the three different conversions that we focus on when we say the conversion phase in iPaper, because for us, digital catalogs should support selling the products. Of course, it's a strong marketing. Tool to use to create the traffic, create the attraction, etc. But in the end, you have to connect that and add that, integrate that into your shopping journey so you can see the value of it much more than you do today. So what can you do for conversions? Now we know they want to buy it in the stores, they want to buy online, and they want to share it with their network. At iPaper, we do say to our clients, and a lot of our clients have implemented those features that you see here. Enable checkout in catalog basket with wishlist, checkout with email or WhatsApp or Viper, and those integrations are available to add into your digital catalogs, whatever your strategy is. It's also integrate your catalog to your e-commerce basket, buying directly from the catalog itself, or having some QR codes in your physical stores where your customers, when they come to the store, they can just scan the QR codes, go to the digital catalog, maybe search for a certain product, see if it's in promotions, etc. It's all about making the shopping journey more easy, convenient, and seamless.
I'm getting a good product overview.
Exactly. So let's say, Rebecca, just a question to you. Let's say we have a lot of retailers and a lot of direct sellings adapting all the 4 stages that we just explained in the store metaphor. And one of the major thing is, I'm just guessing that you have that question in your mind at the moment, is will it work in our industry or in our company, depending on the products that we sell?
I'm glad you asked this question, Mehmet. Because actually, we can see, of course, it'll vary a bit depending on your industry, but all of these things that we have just discussed is something that shoppers say is going to improve their shopping experience. So,
because the store metaphor is the same no matter what, in no matter which physical store. You have to create the attraction, get the traffic into your store, create some kind of inspiration in there so they can buy the products. And that's why the improvement in the digital catalogs, as you see on the screen here, attraction, inspiration, intention, and conversion phase, if you combine whatever is suited into your specific industry, if you just go a slide back, I'm going to give an example actually. So if you look into the electronic devices, I'm just going to mention a brand. A Samsung TV is always a Samsung TV, no matter which company you buy it from. Company A, company B, company C, doesn't matter. It's still a Samsung TV. But depending on what your digital catalogs are, based on the features that you have added there, you can be the one who sells the product to the end customer. And that can vary because the competitor factors competition factors in the electronic devices is, for example, automated pricing, or showing different images, different view of the product, etc. But it's not the same in groceries, for example. In groceries, it's much more FMCG sector, which is fast consuming products. So you have to some kind of add a shopping journey there that can be more seamless implemented or used by the shoppers in their customer journey. That could be creating a shopping list in your digital catalog to support the traffic. We know the fact that many of us still goes to the store to buy the grocery store. How can you actually add the different element that we just mentioned in the store metaphor, in the intention phase, in the inspiration phase? How can you add those things into your product category? And this is very crucial, and this is implemented by major retailers and direct selling companies within iPaper customers.
Should we show them a little sneak peek?
Let's show them.
Okay.
So looking into our success cases at iPaper, and you can all read the full success cases in our website if you need to, and there is also statements from the marketing directors and different stakeholders in those companies that says why they did this and which result they get out of doing certain features in their digital catalog. But I just want to mention again, I just gave an example about electronic devices and electronic companies. For example, Power is a part of Expert International Group in Europe, and Power Denmark, Sweden, Norway, they actually go in and auto-update their prices in the digital catalog every 15 minutes. And that makes them be ahead of the competition always, because they have an engine in the background that scans the market for the pricing, etc. And that pricing becomes, whenever it comes into the data that we can extract in iPaper, we can actually show automated pricing in the digital catalog. For example, Carrefour, they are implementing the strategy of adding to the basket and adding to the shopping list of the e-commerce because they know that their customers is, FMCG industry. So they need to add the products to the basket, seamless experience, find it in the nearest store. So different implementations are existing in the customer's cases. But going back to Power, next slide will show us actually a lot of things about how they are using the digital catalog in the store metaphor in terms of the attraction phase. Because you can have the most digitalized leaflet in the world with images, videos, shopping icons, etc. It doesn't matter if your customers doesn't use it. If you don't attract the traffic to it, then you don't see the value. That's one thing, right? And Power does a great job. And I know it's share screen, so maybe the video on the right side is lagging a little bit on your screens. But the fact is, this is a video that they use in their social media promotions of the leaflet. It's very important to give that leaflet feeling to the shoppers so they can click. They know they have an emotional attachment to this, so they can actually feel and see the leaflet format as you also see on the left side in their web page, in the front page. So they're actually attracting the traffic into the digital catalog because it's completely another journey than the e-commerce.
And just to add also, especially I know with Power and I know with other higher priced items that you buy, a lot of shoppers still want to go and see them in the store. So for Power, their shopping journey, they know starts oftentimes in the digital catalog for that. Maybe it's more of a price comparison than it is inspiration. But then the shopper will usually go to the store and talk to an expert and really feel it and make sure that's the right item for them. And that's often the case, as we know, for higher priced items.
And this is just an example of a company selling electronic devices. You can change the phrasing, you can change the wording whenever we talk about another industry, of course. But let's go and show them another use case that we have on our webpage also. Christian Lay, which is a jewelry company. They are selling jewelries, and I'm not going to go into the details, but the the 7 elements that you see in the bottom of the slide here is actually the elements that we are advising our clients to add into their digital catalog journey, whether it is search, show variants of the products, see extra content of the products, creating a wish list or / shopping list, finding the nearest store, buying the products directly in your catalog, and sharing the catalog with your network. All these features have to be available in your digital catalog to make it seamless in the usage, to make it easy to use for the clients. And Christian Lay have done that in their industry. And what I think is very, very interesting is two of the metrics that you see on the right side. 10% conversion rate per catalog.
Ooh.
10% conversion rate per catalog means basically it's probably much higher than their e-commerce site. And they do it with 1% cost of printing a catalog in the digital version. So that is why the transition phase is very important. Whenever you have a fully implemented strategy and the right KPIs, the right mindsets around the strategy, you will see good results.
Yeah. Should we?
Yeah.
I can see we're running out of time a bit, so
yeah, we do.
have about 5 minutes left.
Just quickly running through different companies here. Rossmann have been our customers in many years basically, but you can see the metrics on your screen. 2.7 times more in time engaged in the digital catalog comparing to the website. So all the metrics that you see on your screen is comparing with the website data, because we're talking about customer journey here, customer journey there. But I will recommend to go in
and I think that's some of the findings from our survey can sort of help to explain, besides the fact, of course, Rossmann has an incredible job digitally adopting the catalog, but when we think about the format and what the customers want, this could be a good explanation for why they're more engaged in the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the next case, I'm just going to mention one thing here, and this is one of my favorite use cases. I will recommend everyone to go in and look into their catalog journey. It is Oriflame in Europe. If you are located in one of those countries, Oriflame is existing in Europe, I will recommend you to go in and look into their digital catalog journey. It is very, very seamless and it's very easy to use. But what I want to mention in this case here is they are not only digitalizing the leaflet and adding the key informations, additional videos, making it much more inspirational for the customer to see, but they are also using it so tactical in their attraction phase, because they have 5+ million sessions per catalog, right? And I'm saying plus, it's 5+ millions sessions per catalog. So it's very, very, used among Oriflame shoppers, because they know they have this inspirational world they dive into whenever they go into the digital catalogs. With those words, those were the success cases. And I know that it is a lot of information that we give you, and you might sit there and think, okay, this is inspirational, so let's create an intention for you from our shopping journey. So going back to free resources that you can ask for after this webinar is such as the country reports that we have created, and the country reports are very crucial here, and you can see the flags on the upper right corner which country reports that we have. So if you are located in Spain or Poland or Germany, please ask for that country report, because we have gathered all the informations that we have from the shoppers, but also have done a competitor analyzed in the market. So there is a list there with your competitors and what they have adapted into their digital catalogs. So you can actually make yourself a to-do list in terms of what you should add into your digital catalogs to be one step ahead in the competition. Secondly, again, if you want a catalog assessment, please let us know. The way we do it is probably we will take a look into how you are using your digital catalogs. Maybe have a 10 minutes, 15 minutes meeting with you and guide you towards your best next step. Not necessarily, using iPaper platform to create the best digital catalog experience. We are just here to guide you towards your next step, depending on your industry and depending on what we know that works in what industry.
And these were also just some of the findings from our survey. We have a lot more, and most of them actually have nothing to do with the digital catalog. So if you're curious about channel usage with Gen Z or a myriad of other things, you can also ask for the full report.
Last but not least, the success framework. Now you have gathered all these informations and all the assets that you can have, etc. All those things sounds very good and very great, but let's not make it a big and complicated project to start with. So what we do in iPaper is whenever a customer, a client comes in and they become a customer, we look at where they are at that moment and take them one step ahead. So, having a digital PDF to online could be adding shopping icons and sending the customers into product pages. That could be a start of digitalization of the leaflet, and then you can slowly increase the digitalization of the leaflet with the help from our customer success managers at iPaper or other companies. So the goal here is kickstart the project, then the rest will come.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, any needs, any help you need from our side, let us know and we will be there. And we thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us this in Denmark. Well, actually not so much gloomy Thursday anymore. Now the sun's coming out. So
the sun is coming out.
It's time for us to enjoy our day.
Exactly.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.